जिनको मेल नहीं आई उनका क्या होगा?
क्या मतलब, किसकी मेल नहीं आई?
मतलब वो मार्क्स की मेल।
बेटा आप लेक्चर में आप मुझे डिस्टर्ब कर रहे हैं, उन्हें पता है अच्छी तरह से कि जिनको नहीं आई। आपको भी नहीं आई?
नो सर।
आपने लेट
सर मुझे भी
सबमिट
नहीं,
किया
सर मैंने टाइम पे सबमिट कराया था, मुझे मेल नहीं आई।
टाइम पे करवाया था।
है। देखें मैंने तो
सर
आपको
हमने टाइम पे सबमिट कराया था, इंटरनेट की वजह से आपको लेट मिला है।
335 तो मुझे 340 पे मिली है, तो अंडरस्टूड बात है बेटा। वो जिन्होंने लेट मेल किया है वो सब ठीक
सर
है।
आप
सर लाइट का मसला हो गया था।
सर आपको मैंने टाइम पे किया था, आपने मेरा नाम भी बोला था लिस्ट में कि है, पर मुझे मेल नहीं आई।
जी जी चले, एनीवे वो सबका ठीक ही होना है। अब क्या उसमें मैं देखूं कैसे असेस करूं, आप बताएं।
ओके सर।
जिनको मैंने मेल नहीं की, आई एम श्योर कि उनका 100% ठीक होना है। उन्होंने देख से के मेल की है ना, सारा देख सोच के बड़े अच्छे
सर
तरीके।
जल्दी कर दी थी, टाइम पे हमने टाइम से पहले।
नहीं सर 340 पे कर दी थी, और सर वो तो पेपर की पिक्चर लेके सेंड किया, उसमें हम कहाँ एडिट करते, मतलब वही ओरिजिनल चीज लिखी हुई
सर
है।
मैंने
एग्जैक्टली सर।
सर 325 पे 25 पे कर दी थी।
तो आपने इसलिए उससे कटिंग वाला पेज थोड़ी आपने पिक्चर ली है, आपने दोबारा री लिखा है उसको, हैंड रिटन किया तो तभी भेजा है ना मुझे। चले एनीवे बेटा आप
सर
नेक्स्ट
जो
पढ़ें,
टाइम
उससे देखिए कोई इशू नहीं है। नेक्स्ट टाइम आप ख्याल रखिएगा। ये तो 5 मार्क्स थे ना, नो प्रॉब्लम।
सर मैंने 320 पे किया, मुझे भी मेल नहीं आई सर।
सर मैंने 325 पे।
चलें इसे बाद में डिस्कस करते हैं जब क्विज की बात होगी। अभी मुझे लेक्चर नहीं पढ़ने का मूड, गप लगानी है। बोलें?
नहीं सर पहले पढ़ते हैं।
नहीं मूड तो ठीक है, फिर ऐसे ही गपशप लगा लेते हैं। क्विज के वजह पे ये चीज़ है, उसके मार्क्स ही डिस्कस करते रहते हैं।
सर आप क्या चाहते हैं कि पढ़ें या गप लगाएं?
मैं आपके साथ हूँ, जो आप चाहते हैं।
सर आप पढ़ाएं।
सर आप
ऑनलाइन
कंटिन्यू करें,
उसको
हम
म्यूट
ये
करके
बाद में
बैठे हो,
डिस्कस
आपका
कर
मूड ना हो
लेंगे।
पढ़ने का तो क्या फायदा।
सर प्लीज लेक्चर कंटिन्यू करें।
अच्छा चलें ठीक है।
जी सर।
So we were discussing about the accession of our gene of interest. For that we have analyzed and studied in depth the first approach, that is use of biological scissor. So what we have studied the properties of restriction and endonucleases, and very important thing, how to set up a restriction reaction. Hope you have enjoyed this task. Enjoy किया कि बोर हुए हैं?
सर इंटरेस्टिंग लगा है।
And I am confident that now every one of yourself you are able to set up a restriction reaction. So
Yes,
practice it more by
Yes,
setting
sir.
parameters, जो कि आपकी वो उसकी क्वांटिटी हो सकती है एंजाइम की, जैसे मैंने चेंज की, तो आप भी इसी तरह चीज़ों को चेंज करके यू कैन डू इन द सिमिलर वे। ठीक है?
यस सर।
अच्छा अब नेक्स्ट हमारा टास्क क्या हो सकता है, हमें क्या चाहिए होगा नेक्स्ट? To make a GMO, genetically modified organism, you have accessed your GOI, that is gene of interest. Now what could be the next task?
Vector.
What need?
Selection. So selection of vector.
Yes, we need a vector, and under different scenario we have to select a vector. Okay, so let us first of all discuss the vector. What are cloning vectors? How can we classify them? So let me share the slides. Is it visible to everyone?
Yes sir.
Okay, so what is a vector? How can you define it?
So it is the organism of our choice in which we want to analyze our gene of interest.
Okay. So,
Ma'am, it can be the organism that can act as the carrier of a certain genes.
okay, good. So based on these definitions, we can comprehensively say that vector is a vehicle, okay, that is used to transfer something. And in the scenario of recombinant work, recombinant DNA, क्या होने लगा है? Okay, in the scenario of recombinant DNA technology, vector is a piece of DNA that is used to transfer our DNA from one organism to other organism. So based on their type of vectors, their features, let us categorize it. Generally, a plasmid is called as a vector. So vector could be plasmids, but all the plasmids are not vectors. So what are the plasmid vectors? These are the small cloning vectors which have the ability to clone DNA in the range of up to 10 kb. Then comes bacteriophage lambda vectors. These are the vectors which have a high cloning capacity. I mean, they are capable to uptake a DNA fragments, to accommodate a DNA fragments in the range of 10,000 base pair, I mean 10 kb to 20 kb. So then comes some hybrid vectors which consist of both plasmid and bacteriophage vectors. They are customized and they are called as a cosmid vectors. The purpose of combining these two vectors is just to enhance their accommodation capacity, and its capacity is about to 40 kb in size. Apart from the accommodation capacity, the other purpose is to enjoy the features of both type of vectors, mean plasmid as well as the virus vectors. And in this case, there are these vector cosmid, they are the hybrid vectors, plasmid and phage. From phage, the main property that is considered while constructing a hybrid vector, that are the cos sites, and cos sites are the small fragments which are adhesive site and serve as a accommodative sites for the insertion of your foreign gene of interest. Then comes bacterial artificial chromosome. These are the back vectors which are used to clone the DNA fragments of up to 100 to 300 kb, and then after the back there comes the yeast artificial chromosome which can uptake the DNA of up to 2 MB. So based on size we can classify these vectors, and in addition to these vectors there are some specific type of viral vector that is called as retroviral vectors, and they are used to introduce new or alter genes into the genomes of human and animal cells. I mean, these vectors are basically categorized or selected in the cloning experiment based on their host. So this is the one criteria of the classification of vectors in which we consider only the accommodation capacity of a certain vector, and then we divide them into different type of vector like plasmid, bacteriophage, back, and so on. Secondly, as we have to transfer our DNA into certain host, and we also need a host. So based on host, there are two major categories of the vectors. One is the broad host range vectors, and second are the narrow host range vectors, and these are specifically applicable to plasmid type of vectors. So what are broad host range plasmid? These are the plasmid that have a broad host range and can replicate in diverse bacteria, because survival of the plasmid that depends on the recognition of its origin of replication by the host. So it have a broad host range and can replicate in diverse type of bacteria. Usually the host of plasmid is bacteria. So these type of plasmid encode their own replication machinery, and they are not dependent upon the different host DNA replication machinery. There is a need of only compatibility of the ORF with the host often. Then comes narrow host range plasmid. these can replicate only in the related bacteria or single species. These plasmids have requirement of specific host factors which are essential for the replication and survival of such plasmids. So let us start with the detail of these plasmid vectors. Let me explain it with these three vectors, which are plasmid PBR322, very common vector, then PUC19 and PET vector that is used for the expression of different gene of interest. If we have a look on the structure of PBR322, the major parts is shown here, that it contains some cloning sites which are also called as the restriction endonuclease sites, where your DNA could be inserted. And then when we talk about the markers, it has two markers. One is the ampicillin and other is the tetracycline. And regarding very important point, very important distinguished feature of PBR322 is that in terms of susceptibility and resistivity, the markers could be at a time one susceptible and other resistant. And this phenomena is called as insertional inactivation. We will later on discuss in detail the phenomena of insertional inactivation. Means it is your choice that out of these two drug markers, you are going to choose one on the basis of susceptibility and other based on resistance. So regarding size, the whole vector is about 4.4 kb in size. So how this version has arrived or originated? It also has an origin of replication. Let us have a look on the history of the origin of PBR322. Basically, first of all, there was a plasmid R7268 that was isolated from certain bacteria in earlier 1963 at a London University, and you can see here this is the R7628. And what is the feature of this plasmid apart from other traits? The origin of this plasmid is focused on based on the antibiotic resistance. So it contains ampicillin resistance gene. After that, there was another variant that was R1D RD19. It was repressed because it contains a lot of antibiotics like ampicillin, kanamycin, chloramphenicol, etc., as well as streptomycin. So and it also possesses a mating property. So for mating transfer, it was again isolated, and then with the help of APR transposon TN3, this plasmid was transformed to PBM1, and resultantly by merging the features of R1DRD19 and PMB1, a new version came, which was called as a PM3 or P3. These are the various sequences. In the third stage, after the emergence of this variant, it was decompressed, I mean reduced in the size, and it was named as a PMB8. Now it also contains similar drug resistance marker, and at the same time, with the combination of other plasmid like PSC101, PMB89, and with the sequential mating and changes, a new version came that was called as a PBR312. P stands for plasmid in all these notations, so which contain finally ampicillin R and tetracycline resistance. This is the basic version of PBR322. That is, sorry, PBR vector, and PBR vector is a PBR series vector. And after that, what happens? We came into the final product, that is PBR322, and now I think PBR325 version has also been emerged. So this is the whole history and the sequences which are shown here, how the transposon mutagenesis was used to derive one plasmid from the other, and how as the resultantly of mixing the two plasmids, we reach to our product, that is PBR322. What is the beautiful thing in PBR322? It contains a large number of restriction sites, and the unique feature of this plasmid is that if you have a look on this, These are the all restriction sites which are present and termed as a cloning site. So what is the distinguished feature of these restriction sites? That certain out of these enzymes, which are almost 11, they lie in the promoter region of the antibiotic resistance genes. I mean, if we insert our gene of interest by choosing those restriction sites which are going to lie in the promoter region, then what will happen? Their location will be disrupted. They will not be able to encode the resistance, and resultantly your transformants will be sensitive to that antibiotic, and this process is called as insertional inactivation. So why is it necessary? Why is it the important point? That is a question. When we set a ligation reaction, definitely, as the name indicate, we are going to ligate certain things. And what are the independent ingredients? We have three types of DNA. First one is our gene of interest. Second one is our vector. Okay, these are the two DNA parts, and third ingredient is the ligase and its buffer. So when we ligate it, it is not 100% sure that every two type of DNA, every molecule of DNA will be ligated. But what will happen? Sometime it happens that your vector is itself being ligated, and when we transform it, instead of our gene of interest, the ligated vector is going to be transformed, which results in the emergence of false transformants. Because when a vector is ligated, its marker are active in case of insertional activation. So what will be the result? That if your vector is self-ligated and it is going to show the resistance to our markers, then that colony will be grow on the LP agar, on your selective agar, and resultantly it will have no your gene of interest. So to counteract this problem, this vector has a unique feature that allows the insertional inactivation, that when you insert between the transporter regions, choose sub restriction site which are going to lie in the promoter region, then upon the insertion, when your gene of interest is actually ligated, it is actually inserted at those two places, what will happen? That your clone that carries your gene of interest, it will disrupt the resistive mechanism, and resultantly your transformers will be selective to your desired trait, that is either ampicillin or tetracycline. So usually one antibiotic is kept at a time to show resistant, and other is kept to show the susceptibility. So this is the unique characteristics. Now if the phenomena of insertional inactivation is inserted, and then there will be a reverse mechanism while selecting the desired transformants. So in that case, because we usually select our transformants based on the okay, sorry, मुझे email भी आई है. Anyway, thank you. Okay, so we have to select our transformant based on their susceptibility, and for that the usual technique is used, that is the replica plating. In case of replica plating, what you do, you grow your strain on both type of markers. One will be the antibiotic sensitive and other will be the antibiotic without antibiotic, means antibiotic resistant. With antibiotic will be called as ampicillin sensitive, and other will be just plain your plate. And by comparing the growth of your colonies on both the plates, you will be able to decide that which one colony is going to resist the antibiotic, and that will be your desired insert. Okay, so in this case, so as I told you next, that there are various derivatives which have been derived from this vector, So this is all about PBR322. Then next comes the PUC19 vector. It is also plasmid based vector. So if we have a look on its just overall figure, so first of all its size is 2.7 kb, and it also incorporates the insertion inactivation, and it contains a lag promoter operon with a multiple cloning size, and it has a LAC-Z activity, which is also called based on beta-lactamase and beta-galactosidase activity, and in the simple term it is called as a billow-wide selection. So this is a general sequence of each restriction site. Just for overview, this is the circular figure of this vector. The important thing, the change is in the markers that not only based on insertion inactivation, susceptible or resistant antibiotics, definitely they will give the result, but in this case there is a change in the phenotypic appearance of the colony based on some substrate, that is IPTG as an inducer, and XGAL that is being used as a substrate along with the agar, and beta-galactosidase activity results in the formation of billow-wide selection. And if your same scenario just like PBR322, that if your gene of interest is going to inserted, then what will happen? It will interrupt the LAC-Z activity, and resultantly the phenomena of producing a blue color, which is due to LAC-Z activity, that will not be produced, and resultantly your true transformants which carry your gene of interest, that will be white in color. Then last vector is the PET vector. PET vector has also been changed with certain modifications based on restriction sites, but its size is larger about all the plasmid vectors because it also contains some promoter region, that is universal T7 promoter, as well as its terminator. So this type of vector is usually used for the getting the expression. So this is all about the vectors, plasmid vectors, and next is the bacteriophage vector that we will discuss in our next lecture. So I will send you these slides, so please have a go through, particularly with the plasmid vectors, and also have an overview of the bacteriophage vector that we will discuss in the next class. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Sir?
Sir,
Yes.
can we discuss the quiz thing now, sir, or not?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, sir.
दूसरा ये मुझे बताएं कि
सर, इसके लिए
ठीक
कोई
है, एक मिनट बेटा,
सर
इस दिस पे ओके कि मैं
जी
आपको इस तरह थोड़ा सा ओवरव्यू दे दूं और फिर मैं आपको मटेरियल सेंड कर दूं, फिर आप पढ़ें, और हम इस पे अगला जो 30 मिनट्स हैं, जितना भी हमारे पास टाइम होगा नेक्स्ट क्लास में, हम इसी टॉपिक को डिस्कस करें और फिर अगले का ओवरव्यू दूं और मैं आपको भेज दूं.
Yes,
जी
sir.
यस सर, ये
sir.
कोई
Yes,
हेल्पिंग
sir.
मटेरियल चाहिए पढ़ने के लिए.
ठीक है, गुड.
सर मैंने जिस टाइम मतलब आपको क्विज भेजा था तो मैंने उसकी स्क्रीनशॉट लेके आपको सेंड किया है सर. इट वाज बिफोर 3:30 सर.
अच्छा, क्या नाम है आपका?
तलहा शौकत सर.
हाँ, तो मैंने चेक करके भेजा है, आपका तो ठीक है, 5 मार्क्स हैं आपके. आपने उस पे वो किया ना,
वो नहीं आया, मेल नहीं आया सर.
मेल नहीं आई होगी ना, सम टाइम मेल नहीं आई होगी. चले एनीवे, मैं अभी ना
सर मुझे भी नहीं आई.
अब मैं अभी नाम उसमें देखता हूँ जिनको मेल कुछ को रीसेंड हुई होगी, मैं लिस्ट देख लेता हूँ ना. ठीक है, जिस पे मैं
इज़्ज़ा खलील का चेक कर दें सर.
जी बेटा,
इज़्ज़ा खलील का चेक कर दें सर, मैंने टाइम पे भेजी थी.
एक मिनट मैं जरा खोल लूँ जो मेरी उसकी अवार्ड लिस्ट है, उस पे पता चल जाएगा. अच्छा, ये अभी रिकॉर्डिंग तो लेक्चर खत्म हो गया ना, मैं आपको स्लाइड्स भेजता हूँ, तो इसको तो बंद कर दें.